You're carrying a weight no one sees, the exhaustion of always being on, of saying yes when you want to say no, of pretending you're okay when inside you're crumbling. You've spent years trying to please others, to avoid conflict, to seem strong, but it's left you drained, disconnected, wondering where you went. This isn't just a feeling, it's a psychological reality. Attachment theory, pioneered by John Bowlby, tells us why this happens. From childhood, we're conditioned to seek approval, to feel secure. We learn that being good or helpful keeps us safe from rejection. But this creates what I call the mask of compliance, a pattern where you prioritize others' needs over your own, hoping it'll make you feel loved. Cognitive behavioral research, like studies from the American Psychological Association, shows that chronic people-pleasing leads to burnout, anxiety, and a weakened sense of self. Every time you suppress your true feelings to keep the peace, you're depleting your emotional energy, a finite resource that fuels your mental clarity and resilience. Think about it. How many times have you said, "I'm fine," when you're not? How many times have you stayed in a conversation that drained you just to avoid seeming rude? These small acts add up, and they cost you your peace. Psychology tells us that suppressing emotions doesn't make them disappear. It amplifies them, leading to stress, resentment, and even physical health issues, as shown in studies from health psychology. This video is for you, the one tired of feeling at an emotional disadvantage, ready to face the truth that hiding your pain only keeps you trapped. Let's explore why your pain feels so powerful and how to take that power back. You might think your pain comes from out there, the harsh words of a coworker, the betrayal of a friend, the silence of someone you love. It feels so real, doesn't it? Like their actions are the source of your hurt. But here's a brutal truth backed by psychology. Nothing external can truly hurt you unless it finds an open wound within. This idea comes from cognitive behavioral therapy, which shows that our pain isn't caused by events alone, but by the meanings we attach to them. A rejection stings because it echoes a deeper fear. Maybe that you're not enough. A criticism cuts because it triggers an old story you've carried, perhaps from childhood, when you felt unworthy. Attachment theory explains this further. Our early relationships shape how we interpret the world. If you grew up feeling you had to earn love, you might see every slight as proof of your inadequacy. Studies in emotion journals show that unprocessed traumas create cognitive schemas, mental frameworks that filter how you perceive others' actions. When someone ignores you, it's not just their silence. It's the story you tell yourself. I'm not important. This is why some people can brush off insults while others spiral. It's not the event, but where it lands in your psyche. Here's where it gets uncomfortable. You're suffering because you're still trying to control how the world treats you. You strive to be perfect, kind, or strong, hoping it'll protect you from pain. But control is an illusion. Social psychology research, like studies in Personality and Social Psychology Bulletin, shows that trying to predict or prevent others' behavior creates constant tension, leaving you emotionally vulnerable. The path to freedom starts with a shift. Stop trying to control the outside and start understanding the inside. Let's dive into the real battlefield, your unconscious. Why do certain words or moments hit you so hard? Why does a single comment send you into a tailspin while others seem unaffected? The answer lies in your unconscious, the hidden part of your mind that drives your reactions without your permission. Through my journey, I've learned that the unconscious is a storehouse of memories, traumas, fears, and desires you've pushed away. Depth psychology, inspired by thinkers like Jung, shows that these repressed elements don't vanish. They shape your emotions, choices, and even your life's path. When you explode with anger or sink into sadness without knowing why, it's your unconscious speaking. Neuroscience research, like studies from Nature Reviews Neuroscience, shows that unprocessed emotions create neural pathways that trigger automatic reactions. That argument you can't let go of, that anxiety that flares up out of nowhere, these are messages from parts of you that you've ignored or buried. I've said, what you don't see controls you. If you don't understand your triggers, you're a puppet to them, reacting to the world's provocations like clockwork. Cognitive psychology confirms this. Unconscious patterns drive self-sabotage, toxic relationships, and unexplained distress. For example, if you grew up feeling unseen, you might chase validation in unhealthy ways, as shown in studies on attachment styles in Journal of Personality. The biggest lie you've been told is that you're in control of your life. But as long as you live on autopilot, you're not. The solution? Bring the unconscious into awareness. This means asking tough questions. Why does this hurt me? What old wound is this touching? By facing these hidden parts, you start to take back your power. Let's explore how to do that. When pain feels overwhelming, it's tempting to shut down, to build walls, wear masks, or pretend nothing gets to you. I don't care, you say, hoping it'll protect you, but inside, the pain festers, eating away at your peace. Psychology warns against this. Emotional suppression, as shown in studies from frontiers in psychology, increases stress hormones like cortisol, weakens resilience, and even harms physical health. Denying your feelings doesn't make you strong. It makes you fragile because you're fighting a war against yourself. I've learned that true strength isn't about being cold or untouchable. It's about integration. This means accepting every part of you, your fears, your insecurities, your pain, without judgment. Self-compassion research, like Kristen Neff's work in Self and Identity, shows that embracing your vulnerabilities reduces emotional reactivity and builds inner stability. When you stop running from your feelings, they lose their grip. Think about a time you felt hurt, maybe a friend's betrayal or a partner's indifference. Your instinct was to push the pain away, to act like it didn't matter. But what if you paused and asked, what am I feeling and why? This simple act, backed by mindfulness studies in Mindfulness Journal, shifts you from reaction to reflection. It's what I call the path to wholeness. Not becoming perfect, but becoming whole. When you integrate your pain, external triggers no longer control you. You don't react impulsively. You respond with clarity. This is the freedom of knowing yourself deeply, not hiding behind armor. Let's see how pain itself can guide you there. You've been taught to hate pain, to see it as weakness, something to avoid at all costs. From childhood, you learn to tough it out, to hide your tears, to keep moving forward. But running from suffering only makes it stronger. Neuroscience research, like studies from the University of Oregon, shows that suppressed emotions increase stress and manifest as anxiety, anger, or self-destructive impulses. Pain doesn't disappear. It shapeshifts, showing up as restlessness, apathy, or an emptiness you can't explain. I see suffering differently, as a sacred messenger of your soul. It's your psyche's way of saying, something needs your attention. Research on post-traumatic growth, published in the Journal of Positive Psychology, shows that facing pain head-on can lead to profound transformation, greater resilience, clarity, and purpose. Your suffering is a call to growth, a signal that part of you is ready to evolve. Imagine this. You're hurt by a rejection. Instead of numbing it with distractions, scrolling, working, pretending you're fine, what if you sat with it, asked, what is this pain teaching me? Maybe it's showing you a belief you've held too long, like, I'm only worthy if others approve. This friction between the part of you wanting to grow and the part clinging to old patterns is where pain lives, but it's also where transformation begins. By listening to your pain, you let go of outdated stories, toxic ties, and false masks. This process, though painful, is sacred. It's the death of who you were and the birth of who you're meant to be. Let's explore how to walk this path. The path to becoming unshakable is what I call the path to wholeness, a journey of integrating every part of yourself. This process, inspired by depth psychology, requires courage to face what you've buried, your shame, your neediness, your anger. It's not about erasing these parts, but embracing them. Research on self-integration, like studies in Personality and Social Psychology Review, shows that acknowledging all aspects of yourself builds emotional resilience and reduces reactivity to external triggers. This journey means letting go of the persona of survival, the masks you've worn to be liked, respected, or safe, Maybe you've played the role of the caretaker, always putting others first, or the achiever, proving your worth through success. These masks helped you survive, but surviving isn't living. Letting them go feels like losing yourself, but it's the opposite. It's finding your true self. Picture a moment when you felt triggered. Maybe someone's comment made you defensive. Instead of reacting, imagine pausing and asking, what part of me feels threatened? Maybe it's a fear of being unseen, rooted in a childhood memory. By naming it, you integrate it, as shown in studies on emotional granularity in psychological science. This clarity makes you less reactive. You still feel pain, but it doesn't break you. You face rejection, but it doesn't define you. This is self-efficacy, as studied by Albert Bandura, a belief in your ability to navigate life's storms. Integration builds a core so strong that no external force can shake it. Here's the final truth, beautiful souls. Nothing will shield you from suffering if you remain unconscious of what's within you. I've said, what you resist persists. What you accept transforms. Mindfulness research, like studies in Mindfulness Journal, shows that awareness of your emotions and triggers reduces their power. When you understand why a comment hurts, maybe it touches an old wound of feeling unworthy, you stop being a victim to it. You feel, but you don't drown. You suffer, but you don't lose yourself. Neuroscience backs this. Conscious awareness activates the prefrontal cortex, enhancing emotional regulation and decision-making, as shown in Nature Review's Neuroscience. This is your shield, not armor, but clarity. It's diving into life's depths, not staying on the surface where every wave knocks you down. Imagine someone criticizes you, and instead of spiraling, you pause, breathe, and ask, what's this triggering in me? This shift, rooted in cognitive behavioral principles, turns pain into insight. This is your awakening, a daily choice to look within, to take responsibility for your emotions, to stop blaming others or fate. You're not here to be perfect, you're here to be whole. In the comments, share one trigger you're ready to face, one step you'll take to embrace your pain and grow. If this spoke to your soul, hit that like button, share this with someone who needs it, and subscribe to my channel for more science-backed wisdom to light your path. I'm Nova, and I'm here to walk this journey with you. Choose awareness. Choose integration. Choose you. Your pain is not your enemy. It's your guide to becoming unshakable. Shine on, and I'll see you in the next video.